Hello, hello! This is Panda, and I'm here together with Mary, Spire, and Senkan.
Hello!
Woohoo!
Hi!
And today we want to show you the infinitely fast sand generator, which is only infinitely fast if you have an infinitely fast PC and let it run for an infinite while, but still, after that time, it will produce infinite sand per hour. So, yeah. But let's see how it works. It really gets faster and faster the longer it runs, that's no joke. To start it, we just put blocks in here where the diamond and gold blocks are, and Spire can explain what they mean.
The diamond blocks basically indicate that the blocks of this type get duplicated where the gold blocks are just filler items for the first round. We will explain it a little bit more in detail in a later part, but now for the demonstration it's a little bit too overcomplicated.
Indeed. So let's just switch it on with the items that are in there, and can see then these blocks will be taken out of there and be moved into the machine. We will explain that all a little bit more detail later, I hope. And yeah, then you can see it starts duping stuff here, and there you can see 2 items dropped, and there are 2 items dropped again, and now there should be 3 items dropping, but yeah, they stack, so you can't really see that. It gets faster and faster the longer it runs. But before we explain all these machines here and all the mechanisms that are in it, we should explain the basic bugs. So I guess we should first build that up and then show you.
In Minecraft 1.9, a falling sand entity with an air block directly beneath it will never turn into a block or an item. If we drop sand onto a cobblestone wall, we stop it from falling while keeping air directly below, preventing it from landing. The sand entity can then be effectively transported using slime blocks or other entity transport techniques. Ilmango was the first to use this mechanic in a falling block generator. The link to his video will be in the video description below. We can also create the same effect by precisely aligning them onto the edge of a block. This is advantageous, as we'll find out later. Note: a falling sand entity that has remained in the falling state for 30 seconds will turn into an item unless it is restricted from falling using the techniques described earlier. Therefore, if a sand generator is to use these techniques, it is required that the sand is never allowed to fall.
Another trick we use to transport the sand at a very high speed is the infamous Piston Warping Bug that has been present since the early 1.9 snapshots. This causes entities that are being moved by a piston to be teleported in front of the block 36, which is responsible for the movement. Another bug that we discovered while working on the sand generator is that the falling sand entity only has its natural hitbox when being created by a gravity affected block that starts falling. In any other case, like summoning, reloading, or sending the falling sand entity through a portal, it gets the default hitbox, which is equivalent to the player. So 0.6 times 1.8 times 0.6 instead of a cube with a side length of 0.98.
Last but not least, we used the Portal Duplication Bug, which was first shown by test 137E29. When a falling sand entity breaks in the same tick that it gets teleported, both actions are executed. Similarly, when a falling block lands in the same tick that the entity is teleported, both actions are once again executed. This way we are able to create new falling sand entities to keep increasing the generator's speed.
So now that we know the bugs this design is based on, we should start it up again and take a closer look at how it works. So first off, we will have to place a sand here again. So these sand entities will have a almost 1 by 1 by 1 hitbox because they are newly spawned. Once they go through the portal, they will have the default player hitbox. Yeah, but at the moment they are still small, so we can move them here. And now we have to press this button, which will start moving out these sand entities and prepare the obsidian platform back there to work for the sand generator. So let's have a look at how this works. So you can see they get moved out here by these pistons, get moved over here, punched over here and moved up by this piston, and then shot into the portal. And here on top of the portal you can see our switch between item and block duplication mode. It's done by this piston, which extends the trapdoor down, When it's extended down, the items drop as we showed before, and when it's up, there will be a block generating. And then when the block generated, this piston here retracts and lets the block drop down, and from here Spire can take over.
As you can see, the falling sand entity or the falling entity will get caught by the piston using the piston warp bug that we mentioned earlier, get pushed into the cobweb, which is necessary to reset the falling height for anvils in particular. For all the other blocks it wouldn't be really important. Then it gets pulled back again using the piston bug, and then pushed over using the slime block contraption. After that we just pull it back up using the same elevator that we also used for initially filling this thing in. And up here it just merges with every second package, and we push it in using the slime block. And so, using this mechanic, every round the amount of sand within every second package will increase, and afterwards it will be shot into the end portal.
Yeah, and you can see here already after this short while there's quite a few items dropping in every second package, which is the increasing ones. And now we should follow the falling sand entity through the portal and see what it does in the overworld. So here we are at the spawn in the overworld, and if we follow the compass to right here, we see that this is the exact spawn point, and we have leaves placed here, because leaves have this nice property that when something spawns at the spawn point, it ignores them and just appears below them. So you can see the sand generator is actually running and the sand is just disappearing down here, and you still don't have any danger of falling down the rabbit hole. So up here, the sand appears in the center of the block, but as we punched it in with a slime block in the end, it has motion in this direction and gets aligned with this fence. Also, as it went through the portal and got basically a new sand entity in here, it now has a glitched out hitbox, so it's 2 blocks high. That's why this piston here can move the sand down there. Usually a normal falling sand entity couldn't be moved, but by having it this glitched out hitbox, it can be moved by this piston. And yeah, then it gets moved over here by something that Spire can explain way better.
Yeah, we are using simple piston conveyors.
And at the very end here, we again have slime blocks which punch it to the side and then punch it back into the portal. And yeah, there are blocks below the portal blocks. And you can see for a short moment the items are popping out and then get teleported into the end as well. And I forgot to mention that down here we got a water stream where the items from way back here, which left the end, also get transported to the portal and also get shot into the portal from here. So all the items will end up in the end, and that's where we should go as well. In the end, we use the motion of the falling sand entities again, and you saw in the overworld we give it motion in 2 directions, and the one direction is against this cobble fence here, or cobble wall, so that it's partially on the blocks, and the second one is shooting it out to the side, as you can see. And the reason we need to align it in 2 directions is so that we constantly can have it on blocks. You can see we also pushed in blocks there, and it appears 1 block higher than the obsidian platform, and then it's moved against the cobble fence, and then on the corner of these blocks, so that it never is in mid-air, because if it was in mid-air, the 30-second timer that it has would make it pop out, and we would lose our falling sand entities which are needed for duplicating. So yeah, after that, the items get collected by the water here and moved into our item collection in the lava down here, and the falling sand entities, as you see, are shot out into this elevator, which Spire can explain way better.
Sure, since the sand now re-entered the end again, we have the 2 high hitbox of the sand, or roughly 2 high. This will then allow us to detect it using a pressure plate every second block or so. We then use that signal in a zero-tick generator to pulse a normal piston, which will then instantly start retracting and therefore pull up the block on top of it, which will then reactivate another pressure plate and continue that process until it arrives at the top. And at the top, we then convert into a horizontal piston conveyor, which instead of using pressure plates uses tripwire to detect the sand. It will also get led into a zero-tick generator, which then powers its normal piston and pulls it along. And when we're done with that, we arrive at the end and the cycle continues.
Indeed, and it's the same conveyor as we used in the overworld as well. And now the cycle will continue and fill up more sand and more sand till your CPU starts lagging out. So if you want to keep it at some speed, because letting it accumulate more sand doesn't make any sense, as it will just slow down your PC, you can just press this button here and lock it at the current speed. That will constantly extend this piston, which will disable the falling sand block duplication over here, and it will just extend the trapdoor every time. So you can see now every second package is just a single item that duplicates, but it doesn't fill up more blocks anymore. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So now I will go back to the overworld, because as you saw earlier, the seed of this world is kind of special, but not super special. It's a seed where the end portal is inside the spawn chunks. You can see over here we just had to go from back here to get to the end portal, so it's not that far away, but it doesn't need to be directly below spawn. We will of course include the link to the world download in the description, as well as the seed for this world. And I think that's all there is to it. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.